Hey y'all, welcome to the Lit Lair, where I review titles in women's fiction, contemporary romance, and my favorite, romantic comedy. So, let's dive in. Our title today is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. I'm so excited to recommend this book to you guys. When I think about fall, I think about this book. It takes place between Halloween and Thanksgiving, and it is just delightful and just the right thing to get you into the fall spirit. The main character actually, right away in chapter 1, admits that she is basic. I love how unapologetic she is. She talks about how she loves pumpkin spice, loves everything fall, has her chunky sweaters all over the floor, wears her boots, and just as soon as she is able, as soon as the calendar allows her to, she is all in on fall. And I think we can all relate, as if we don't have enough pressure to be perfect. For some reason, we're worried about being called basic if we have the audacity to like something with pumpkin spice in it, and I think that's just ludicrous. And I love the way that she says, hey y'all, guess what, I'm basic as it comes, and I love fall. So here's the pitch. When your nemesis also happens to be your fiance, happily ever after becomes a lot more complicated in this wickedly funny lovers to enemies to lovers romantic comedy debut. So I love this book. I've read it at least 4 times. I know I've listened to it twice and read it twice. It could be more than that. I don't know. But I absolutely adore it. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll see why. So in summary, Naomi is engaged to Nicholas Rose. Nicholas is a dentist. He's from an upstanding family in town. He is handsome and he's polite and he's considerate. So what's the problem? Well, she's absolutely sick of him, and she's absolutely sick of their relationship, and she decides that she is going to get him to be the one to call things off. Why not just say, hey, dude, I don't want to marry you? Well, they're planning this lavish wedding, and they've already put deposit downs on a lot of stuff. So Naomi realizes that she will be on the hook for all of these deposits if she is the one to sort of drop Nicholas. Plus, selfishly, she kind of realizes, hey, if he dumps me, I get to look like the poor, pitiful fiance who got dumped, and plus not have to pay back all the money that the deposits have cost. Once Naomi realizes that, okay, I can do this, I can make this dude break up with me and call off this engagement and be free and clear because I'm sick of him and can't stand him anymore, she actually comes to realize that it might just be that Nicholas is not quite as happy with her as he's been pretending to be either. Once that happens, they kind of engage in this all-out war of sabotage and pranks and hijinks, and it is hilarious and fun, and it is just a great romantic comedy to laugh and to just really feel good at the end. But you have to get through some stuff before you get there, of course, and it's a great story. So one of the reasons that I really love this book is Sarah Hogle's writing style is just my cup of tea. I love quirky humor, and Sarah Hogle is the queen of quirky humor. Here's just one example. I mean, this is on every page, but I do like this reference because I think it's funny. And if you don't know who this person is, oh, first of all, you're really missing out. But I think most of us probably know The Bachelor well enough to know who this person is. But anyway, this is just an example of her sort of quirky humor. I'm a miserable cynic, a newer development, and a dreamy romantic. Always have been. And it's such a terrible combination that I don't know how to tolerate myself. If I were only one of those things, perhaps I would be nodding and agreeing with Nicholas, smiling brightly, rather than drumming up one of my favorite daydreams to focus on when I don't want to live in reality. In this dream, it's my wedding day, and I'm standing at the altar next to Nicholas. The priest asks if anyone objects to this union, and someone in the audience stands up, boldly proclaiming, I do. Everyone gasps. It's Jake Pavelka, controversial season 14 star of The Bachelor. Very quirky. It is a first-person narration, which I adore, and I know some readers can run the risk of not liking the main character through first-person narration. For me, that wasn't an issue, and I'll talk more about that later. But another reason why I love this book so much is because of all of the tropes. So this is a trope-tastic book, and it has, yes, enemies to lovers. Yes. Almost like a friends to lovers as well. because of the nature of this relationship and the development. There's also the small town romance because they're in Morris, Wisconsin, and it feels sometimes like they're on the edge of the universe. And I like that because it's needed for this character's or this couple's development. There is also the slow burn. Oh, the slow burn. And you might think, aren't these people engaged? Like, how can it be a slow burn? It definitely is because they are estranged from each other in every way. They do physically live together, but they are not together in any way, including physically. But once they sort of exchange their pleasantries, almost like roommates, they go to their separate corners of the house and they don't really interact at all. So the slow burn scenes in this book absolutely sizzle because you really want these two, you long for these two to become the allies that you know they were meant to be, and it's a really satisfying payoff. And the first part of the book is complete shenanigans. It's hilarious. It's sort of immature rivalry kind of behavior, and the second half is where the romance really kind of those swoony scenes come in, and it's sort of the payoff. So I want to talk about some of the negative reviews because, hey, I'm just one person, so I want you guys to get a balanced view of the book and what some people are saying about it in the negative way. All of the negative reviews have one thing in common. They all complain that these characters are unlikable. And the main couple, Nicholas and Naomi, Naomi is a self-absorbed little brat, and Nicholas is an arrogant prick and a mama's boy. Everybody's right who says that. There's no denying that that is a great definition for these two. But I will say that in order to have a sense of self-realization, self-awareness, growth as a character where you realize your selfish tendencies and correct them, you do have to at first be sort of selfish, right? So it makes sense for Naomi to be that way, especially at the beginning. And she did, I would never had a problem with her. Again, we run the risk with first-person narration sometimes that we eventually come to not like the main character because we are constantly in her head and hearing everything she's thinking and hearing everything she's saying. So I get the risk there, but for me, she was completely tolerable and even likable. I do have a threshold for whiny, neurotic females in my romances. She did not come close to crossing that threshold for me, but that's also because of the redemption at the end. If it wasn't for that, then yeah, these people are terrible and don't pick up this book. But you have to have those flaws at the beginning in order to have that payoff at the end. Nicholas has to be a mama's boy in order to make those boundaries with his overbearing mother. And if he wasn't that way at the beginning, it wouldn't exactly make sense. It wouldn't be such a great payoff, and you wouldn't feel like you were getting such a good reward. So for me, it's not a problem, and I enjoy the humor. I really love the sarcasm and the snarky and the bickering and stuff. I like that in my romances. I don't want something so trickly sweet that there's just nothing there and there's no conflict. There's plenty of conflict in this book, and I love it, and it just makes it even richer in my opinion. So if you do read You Deserve Each Other and love it, there are 2 other Sarah Hogle books out there. This was her debut in 2020. So her follow-up novel is called Twice Shy, and it is really sweet. It is a very sweet story, and the characters are more immediately likable. It's basically there's these 2 adorable people, and it's a forced proximity story. So they really are on the edge of the universe in this complete bubble, and there's no one but them anywhere around. And you'll see what I mean if you read the book. But if that kind of sounds appealing to you and you like her writing style, you probably enjoy Twice Shy. I did. I read it. I enjoyed it. For me, the romance did not compare to You Deserve Each Other. But again, I like a lot of that verbal back and forth and the sort of witty banter. Twice Shy is a bit more of a straightforward, sweet story. Her third book is Just Like Magic, which is a Christmas book, and I might talk about that in a Christmas episode that I've got planned for later, so I'm going to hold off on that, but it is out there. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about You Deserve Each Other. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the book. If there's a book that you're wondering about, leave it in the comments. I would love to take a look at it for you if you're not sure if you have the time or money to make that investment. I know that sometimes it is quite the investment of our time, especially to check out a new book. And if you've got a title that you're thinking of or that you've had on your to-be read list for a long time and you're just not sure if you want to dive in, let me know what it is. I'll be glad to take a look at it. Thank you for watching Lit Lair. We'll see you all next week.